Okay, everybody. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. I think it's working here. Again, we're out and about. We're away from home. So I'm just gonna need a minute here to see if we're good. Seems like we're good. Let me know how the audio is good. We got the mobile setup going. It's still leaps and bounds ahead. It's light years ahead of everything else, but still we are mobile. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. What a day. First of all, I would just like to say welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to another House of Canada. Is that where I'm streaming? I got so many channels, I don't even know. Welcome back to another House of Canada live stream, everybody. This is very unusual. Very, very unusual circumstance here where we are facing multiple episodes of breaking news when we shouldn't be seeing this, right? They've resumed, or they're done for the holidays. They've had their last day, Monday and Tuesday, absolute shitstorm. And now we're supposed to just coast until they resume in Parliament the 27th of January. But that's not the case. That's not the case, because today the big breaking news isn't even Justin Trudeau's shuffling of his cabinet, which is insane because he shuffled more than anybody else ever. Like, this is the most amount of shuffling any prime minister has ever done, and it's total panic mode. But that's not even the breaking news today. So for those that don't know, Jagmeet Singh has committed to calling a vote of non-confidence the 27th of January when they can resume sitting in the House. So I went live this morning, over 2 hours ago. First to hit the breaking news. I went live on Mistersunshinebaby, which again is very unusual. I don't do that unless it's an emergency. And now we are facing an additional emergency, right? We're facing an additional emergency where you have Pierre Poilievre is addressing Jagmeet Singh's announcement of a vote of non-confidence. And so we're facing, again, we did this on Monday. I had maybe a midlife crisis or a meltdown. I was screaming. I was stressed. I was overheating. I was hyperventilating. For those that know, there was a lot of people watching. There was like 9,000 people watching me scream on camera because there was breaking news on top of breaking news with more breaking news with, you guessed it, another sprinkle of breaking news. And we're kind of reliving that right now, which is nuts because this isn't the regular season of politics. The season finale has happened. We're getting additional bonus stuff right now, bonus news, and it's awesome. So I see somebody in the live chat saying, I am Mr. Christmas Baby. Hey, if that's what you want, then sure, I will take that. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream, everybody. It's good to wipe the dust off of House of Canada, even though it's been a couple of days, but hey, I love streaming on this channel. I love the community, and I love you guys. So we're taking a look at a few things. We're taking a look at the cabinet shuffle. What we're waiting for, though, is Pierre Poilievre to address the country. He's in Parliament. He's in Ottawa. He's not even at home. He's supposed to be, or I guess maybe he is at home, but he's supposed to be at home enjoying downtime. This is the Christmas holidays, even for politicians. You may agree with it. You may disagree with it for them getting this much amount of downtime, but that's neither here nor there. They all take a hike after Parliament ends, and that did end early on Tuesday. But here we are with shitstorm that is Canada, and we're gonna take a look at that. So I've got the stream pulled up for Pierre Poilievre. He's not there yet. It's pending. Okay, CPAC is just broadcasting to an empty room. All right. You don't believe me? Let's take a look. CPAC is literally broadcasting to a empty room. So when that starts up, we're going to switch over. But in the meantime, we're going to do a recap of what's going on. Because believe it or not, Ripley's, there are some people that have absolutely no idea what the heck is going on. And to those people, I say, the Christmas dream is coming true. The Christmas wish is coming true. People have been saying, Jagmeet, call an election, call an election, call an election, right? What's going on? Call an election. Stop saying Trudeau should resign. Call an election. Well, the time has finally come, and he has called an election. And in fact, Pierre Poilievre is addressing the country right now, so we're going to switch over and take a look. Are you guys ready? I want you to hit the like button on this stream. I want you to subscribe and turn post notifications on this stream because, look, we're watching this in real time. Let's get it done, folks.
Joyeux Noël, mais Noël très chaotique. Aujourd'hui, on voit je ne sais quoi. C'est une comédie ou un cirque de clowns ou je ne sais quoi. Mais c'est clair que le Premier ministre a perdu le contrôle. Il a perdu le contrôle des frontières, perdu le contrôle de l'immigration, perdu le contrôle des dépenses, de l'inflation, des dettes, de la criminalité et des drogues. Il a même perdu le contrôle de son propre parti. Son ministre des Finances a démissionné quelques heures avant la présentation d'un budget d'automne qui allait montrer un déficit de 60 milliards de dollars, un déficit inflationniste 55% plus élevé que promis il y a 8 mois. Et c'est un drame, un téléroman où les joueurs s'occupent d'eux-mêmes et ne travaillent plus pour les Canadiens. Ils se battent pour les postes et pour le pouvoir lorsque le pays est hors de contrôle.
Yeah, he's going to start with French and then he's going to go to English.
Il est au pouvoir depuis 9 ans. Il a causé un énorme déclin dans notre standard de vie, une explosion dans la crime, et il veut rester au pouvoir. Madame Freeland, elle voulait garder sa poste, même avec les grands déficits et toutes les promesses brisées, même avec les dépenses hors de contrôle, jusqu'au moment que le Premier ministre avait dit vouloir la congédier. M. Carney, le conseiller économique à M. Trudeau, il voulait devenir ministre des Finances jusqu'au moment qu'il pensait que ça allait le mettre dans l'embarras. Donc, soudainement, après avoir contribué à ce plan économique d'automne, il a soudainement remboursé sa volonté. M. Blanchette, qui a voté 200 fois pour garder Justin Trudeau au pouvoir, y compris il y a 10 jours, soudainement, il change d'idée aussi et il est stupéfié par le chaos que ça a causé. Et finalement, M. Jagmeet Singh, un homme qui a annoncé en septembre qu'il allait briser son deal avec Justin Trudeau, après quoi il a voté 8 fois pour garder M. Trudeau au pouvoir, y compris il y a 11 jours. Si M. Singh avait voté non-confiance, il y a 11 jours, quand j'ai mis une motion avec ses propres mots devant la Chambre des communes, nous serions maintenant 11 jours dans une campagne électorale. Mais il a sauvé M. Trudeau. Et soudainement, après que le Parlement ferme et il n'y a pas de possibilité d'introduire des motions, il dit vouloir en voter pour une. C'est ridicule. Ça, c'est les drames de ce téléroman. Mais ce n'est pas les drames dans lesquels je m'intéresse. Les drames qui m'intéressent, c'est monsieur et madame tout le monde, qui vivent avec un coût de logement qui a doublé depuis l'arrivée au pouvoir de ce gouvernement libéral. Je m'intéresse aux gens qui ont vécu la pire inflation immobilière parmi tous les pays du G7 depuis Justin Trudeau et les libéraux. Je m'intéresse au drame des 2 millions de personnes qui doivent aller aux banques alimentaires, un montant qui a doublé. Je m'intéresse aux victimes de criminalité, dont il y a 50% de plus depuis l'arrivée au pouvoir de ce gouvernement libéral et 116% de plus en termes de crimes commis avec une arme à feu. Je m'intéresse aux gens qui sont maintenant chômeurs à cause des politiques destructrices qui tuent nos emplois. Je m'intéresse aux travailleurs qui doivent utiliser des outils inférieurs à leurs compétiteurs américains et qui gagnent moins de paix en conséquence. Je m'intéresse aux mères monoparentales qui doivent payer plus pour nourriture parce que la coût des aliments ont augmenté 37 plus rapidement ici au Canada qu'aux États-Unis. Je m'intéresse au drame des familles qui ont perdu un amour. 47 000 personnes mortes des surdoses après la libéralisation de drogue appuyée par M. Trudeau et le Bloc. Mais est-ce que M. Singh, M. Blanchette, M. Carney, Mme Freeland ou M. Trudeau travaillent sur ces drames-là? Non, ils travaillent sur eux-mêmes. Ce qu'on a appris aujourd'hui, c'est que M. Trudeau n'a plus la confiance du Parlement. Évidemment, les conservateurs n'ont pas de confiance en lui. Le Bloc dit soudainement de ne pas avoir confiance en lui. Et M. Singh dit soudainement qu'il n'a pas confiance en Justin Trudeau. Il y a 18 députés qui ont dit ne pas avoir confiance en Justin Trudeau. Et tout ça depuis le dernier vote de confiance. Donc, M. Trudeau ne peut plus gouverner. On ne peut pas gouverner sans la confiance de la Chambre des communes. C'est pour ça que dans quelques minutes, je vais envoyer une lettre à la gouverneure générale revendiquant qu'elle rappelle le Parlement pour tenir un vote de confiance pour M. Trudeau, pour décider si on va en élection et permettre les Canadiens de reprendre le contrôle de leur vie et leur pays.
He wants Parliament to come back early.
Reprendre le contrôle de l'immigration, reprendre le contrôle des dépenses, de l'inflation, de coûts de la vie, en éliminant les déficits inflationnistes, en éliminant le TPS sur les nouvelles maisons, en coupant le BS corporatif, l'aide à l'étranger, la bureaucratie et les consultants pour reprendre le contrôle des dépenses. C'est ce qu'il faut. Dans moins d'un mois, dans à peu près un mois, les Américains auront un nouveau président. Si on a un vote de confiance, un vote de non-confiance à la Chambre des communes, dans les jours à venir, nous pouvons avoir un premier ministre avec un vrai mandat par la fin de janvier. Et c'est ce dont nous avons besoin, quelqu'un qui est fort, qui peut faire face à M. Trump, qui peut reprendre le contrôle des dépenses de l'immigration, de nos frontières, de la criminalité et protéger les Canadiens. Arrêtons de travailler pour les politiciens et les drames ou les téléromans sur la colline parlementaire. Travaillons pour les Canadiens, mais le Canada d'abord.
Here we go.
Thank you very much, everyone. Today we saw the next episode of the chaotic clown show that is costing Canadians after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government. And look at all the players in this drama. They're taking care of themselves, fighting for their own personal self-interest while they embarrass the country, tank our dollar, unleash crime and chaos in our community, threaten our trade relationship with our biggest partner. Let's go through these players. Justin Trudeau, who egomaniacally holds on to power even though 80% of Canadians want to fire him. Then there's Chrystia Freeland, who is just fine with doubling the debt, doubling housing costs, doubling the number of people going to food banks, quadrupling the carbon tax, breaking the immigration system, but then suddenly had a change of heart the second she realized she was getting a demotion. So it was really all about her. A demotion that would see her replaced with carbon tax Carney, who had committed to the Prime Minister that he would take the job of Finance Minister after he, as the economic advisor after all, helped write this fall economic update with a $62 billion deficit included in it. And then you have Jagmeet Singh, who, after he duped you all and claimed he'd ripped up his deal with Trudeau, voted 8 times to keep Trudeau in office over the last session of Parliament, and including voting against a non-confidence motion that was made up of his own words. 11 days ago. If he had voted for his own words, we would be a third of the way into an election campaign right now. But he suddenly had an epiphany and says that he can no longer support the costly chaos that he has enabled as part of the NDP Liberal coalition. This is quite the drama with all these personalities that you're all breathlessly covering, but I'm interested in the dramas of other people, real people, the people who have seen their housing costs doubled, rising faster than any other G7 country, the 2 million people lined up at food banks, which is also double, the 50% increase, people who are part of the 50% more crime victims, or the 116% more gun crime victims since Trudeau took office, or the millions that are unemployed as our economy collapses, or the seniors who will struggle to put food on the table after our dollar tanked in the middle of all this chaotic clown show on Monday, now below 70 cents a litre for the first time in almost 2 decades. I worry about the workers whose wages are stagnant while American workers boom because our investment per worker has collapsed by 23%. I worry about the single moms who are struggling to pay for the massive increase in food prices that have gone up 37% faster in Canada than in the United States, something that coincided with the NDP Liberal carbon tax on farmers and truckers. I worry about the 28% of Canadians who said they're considering moving to another country because life has become so hellish after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government. I worry about the children who will inherit the $1.2 trillion debt. More debt was added in the last 9 years of this NDP Liberal government than in all prior governments combined.
Yeah, than in history.
I worry about the families who've lost were among those who've lost people to drug overdoses. Now 47,000 Canadians have died, more than died in the Second World War after the NDP Liberals liberalized hard drugs and allowed our border to fly open. I worry about the people who've lost hope in this country. They are the ones we should be focused on. Instead, we're focusing on the chaotic clown show that is costing Canadians today. This cannot go on. With a U.S. president coming in threatening tariffs early next year, we cannot have a chaotic clown show running our government into the ground. What is clear is that Justin Trudeau does not have the confidence of Parliament. Since the last confidence votes happened, there have been 3 major developments. 1, the leader of the Bloc says he's changed his mind. He no longer has confidence in the Prime Minister.
Fantastic.
2, just today, Jagmeet Singh claimed that he no longer has confidence in the Prime Minister, albeit he intends to wait until he gets his pension, until he votes accordingly. But still, he says he's lost confidence. And then there are 18 Liberal MPs, including the former Deputy Prime Minister, who've all lost confidence in the Prime Minister. Add them all up and you have 70% of parliamentarians who do not have confidence in the Prime Minister. And in the middle of a trade, border, crime, and cost of living emergency.
Crisis.
This cannot go on. And that is why, in just a few moments, I will be writing the Governor-General, asking her to urgently reconvene Parliament and require a non-confidence vote so the Prime Minister can judge whether he stays in power, continuing to ruin our country, or whether we get an axe the tax election to allow Canadians to take back control of their lives and their country. With a Prime Minister who can take back control of our borders, our immigration, our spending, our cost of living, who will get rid of the GST on new homes and axe the carbon tax to bring down the cost of living, to show a strong, smart presentation to the incoming president with a new Prime Minister that has the brains and backbone to put Canada first. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to pause it for a second, and we're going to acknowledge the fact that this has never been done before. You've never had, after the holidays have been called, after they're done in Parliament, after it gets closed for the holidays, you've never had such an eventful series of emergencies where they say, okay, no, we need to get back in the House. This is unprecedented. This has never been done before. That's how significant this is. And I got to give props to Pierre. Like, this announcement of Jagmeet Singh not having confidence, he didn't text Pierre about this. They don't talk behind closed doors. Jagmeet Singh is a cockroach. Would you talk to Jagmeet Singh with respect behind closed doors? How he just has sabotaged this country? I don't think so. So Pierre, like, they're not, I mean, sure, they can be cordial and somewhat friendly, professional, but they're not buddy buddies. They're not texting. They're not in a group chat. So the announcement earlier today, Jagmeet Singh posted on X an official government letter of him basically saying, "That's it. I'm done. I'm calling a vote of non-confidence. We're putting forward a motion of non-confidence when Parliament resumes." That was just as a surprise to literally everybody else, other than the person who wrote the letter for Jagmeet and Jagmeet Singh, and maybe the person that runs his social media account. That's it. Like, very few people knew about that. So we're talking about 3 hours after that happens. Pierre is in his dress, his business attire, in a suit. Probably wasn't in a suit earlier today, just hanging out on a Friday morning. So he's in the suit. He's in Parliament. He's got the broadcast going. He's got his talking points going, and he's already killing it, saying, here's what I'm going to do. He's got a plan. All of this is done on the fly. It's all on the hop. And here he goes saying, look, we're going to do something that's never been done before. We're going to recall Parliament. We're going to try to recall Parliament by getting the Governor General involved. I mean, that's incredible. Talk about showing your allegiance to Canada and capitalizing on this opportunity. Trudeau is not happy. Trudeau is panicking. Trudeau is still shuffling his cabinet, for crying out loud. And Pierre's over here saying, yeah, we're gonna try and get everybody back here as soon as possible. I mean, that's just pure leadership.
Mr. Poilievre, il n'y a rien qui l'oblige à vous écouter. Comment vous allez faire pour la convaincre qu'elle doit rappeler le Parlement?
Elle a une responsabilité de rappeler le Parlement parce que le premier ministre a perdu la confiance, en plus d'avoir perdu le contrôle. Il a perdu le contrôle des frontières, de l'immigration, des dépenses, de la coût de la vie, et il a perdu le contrôle de son parti. Je peux montrer avec des reportages publics qu'il n'a même pas la confiance de son propre parti, avec, on dit, 60 députés qui n'ont pas confiance en lui. Donc, c'est impossible qu'il gouverne. Il nous faut un vote à la Chambre des communes avant la fin de l'année pour permettre le déclenchement d'une élection dans laquelle les Canadiens vont pouvoir reprendre le contrôle de leur vie et leur pays.
Mr. Poilievre, Brian Mulroney met with Ronald Reagan several months before becoming Prime Minister in 1984, and you have a direct line to the Vice President-elect through a member of your caucus. Why not reach out to the Trump administration before the next election to tell them to stop the devastating 25% tariff?
Well, I've already told them that they should stop tariffs from coming ahead on Canada. But I'm not the Prime Minister, and that's precisely why we need an axe the tax election. Because right now, it looks like a chaotic clown show that's costing Canadians. Right now, the incoming president, who's at his strongest moment, sees nothing but weakness from the NDP Liberal government. He has no idea who's in charge over here. He sees premiers saying one thing, other premiers saying other things, the Prime Minister hiding under his desk. We're still astonished that it's now been weeks since the U.S. President said he would maybe jokingly that Canada would be the 51st state. And it's incredible the Prime Minister of Canada has not responded to that, which just is an illustration of the absolute, total, pathetic weakness of Justin Trudeau and his entire chaotic government.
Yeah.
The only way for me to have the moral authority to get a deal with incoming President Trump is to have the strength that comes from winning election and having a 4-year mandate so that I face him with a position of strength.
You said this week in a radio interview that prorogation in this scenario would be against the rules. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's the likely scenario? And if so, how would that compare to what Stephen Harper did in 2008 when he was facing a non-confidence vote and prorogued Parliament, which was quite...
Okay, so again, I'm going to add in my piece right now. proroguing the government is off the table. This is something that Justin Trudeau himself has said. This is something that Chrystia Freeland had said. They're not afraid of an election. Justin Trudeau is 100% not afraid of an election. He said it on camera many, many times. Now, is that going to stick? Are we going to be able to hold him to his word? I mean, he can do whatever he wants, right? But again, he's looked at the cameras just like this and said, I am not afraid of an election. If that's what people want, then that's what they'll get, right? Now, all that is needed is for Jagmeet to actually call that vote of non-confidence. And I say, give Jagmeet his pension. It sucks, right? 2 whatever million dollars. It sucks. It absolutely is a blow to Canadian taxpayers. I get that, right? But give him his pension, get the election going, and let's get Canada back on track. This very well could happen end of February. Like, it very, very well could happen, right? And if Pierre Poilievre is actually able to recall Parliament before Christmas, immediately after Christmas, I mean, anything's possible. They can just vote electronically, for crying out loud. Jagmeet is going to have to vote in favor of non-confidence. He won't have a choice. If he doesn't vote in favor of non-confidence, he's done. Every one of his supporters are going to leave, and he's going to be worse off than Trudeau. So he has to stay true to his words. He did it on an official letterhead. There's no way around it. He's going to get slaughtered by the press and everything. His career will be politically done. And so we could be seeing something that's never been done before. I don't know if they're going to be able to do a vote of non-confidence before Christmas. That's in 5 days, which also happens to be my birthday for those that didn't know. But we're going to have to see. I mean, maybe we don't have to wait until January 27th for them to resume sitting in Parliament. This is very exciting. This is very, very exciting. We're getting a Christmas gift. Whether we get the gift right before Christmas or after Christmas, regardless, it's still very exciting.
Controversial at the time.
Well, the difference is that we, in the Harper era, he prorogued to stop an undemocratic coalition from taking over against the will of the people. In this case, a prorogation would be to preserve an undemocratic coalition that has lost the confidence of both the House and of Canadians. If Jagmeet Singh this time is telling the truth, which remains to be seen, then he will join with me and write the Governor General. So in fact, I'm giving my letter not only to the Governor General, but I'm giving it to the leaders of the NDP and Bloc, and I'm encouraging them to write the Governor General as well, if they're serious about a non-confidence vote, to recall Parliament. I'll answer your questions. To recall Parliament and vote on whether we call a carbon tax election. Now, Mr. Singh, you know, right now, you've all once again been duped and reported without any criticism of what he's done. He's talking about holding a non-confidence vote in March. So we're going to have months and months and months of this total chaos if Jagmeet Singh gets his way. And it conveniently will get him his pension. So the whole 41 million Canadians are being held hostage by the pension of one man. So I'm asking Mr. Singh to put patriotism ahead of pension, sign a letter to the Governor General, confirming in writing what he said in front of the cameras, that is, that he no longer has got confidence in this Prime Minister and that he is ready to go to an axe the tax election.
Is it possible to go to an election before Inauguration Day, or would you like to see it? How can you just lay out
the sooner
how
the better.
you
I mean, it's irresponsible for us not to go to an election. The absolute mayhem,
Inauguration Day?
If I could answer your question, every minute
Shut up, please, and let him talk.
that this chaotic clown show goes on is irresponsible for Canada. The only way to put Canada first is to immediately elect a new Prime Minister who has the strength and smarts, the brains and backbone to put Canada first.
Last question. Are you comfortable with the democratic precedent of having the Governor General not only bring the House back, but set the agenda for that House of Commons? Would you tolerate that as Prime Minister in the future?
Well, I wouldn't tolerate anything that's going on right now. I think it's a total mayhem. I've never seen anything like it. It's hallucinogenic to imagine that the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister would resign the day she was supposed to introduce her fall budget. A budget that, by the way, we forget, is 55% bigger deficit than they promised, $62 billion in new inflation, and the Prime Minister has lost the confidence of 60 of his own MPs, and somehow he's clinging to power. We have a guy here who has lost control of everything, and yet he clings to power. This cannot go on. So what I'm proposing is the most democratic thing that can happen. Let's have a vote in the House to let Canadians have a vote at the ballot box to elect a new common sense government that will put Canada first. Thank you very much.
Wham bam. Thank you, Sam. He walked out. That's the end of that broadcast right there. So he said his piece and then he got out. This is incredible, folks. Again, we're facing something. For those that are just tuning in, I'm going to do a quick recap right now as to what is going on, because there's some people that have no idea about the news that happened earlier this morning. So here we go. Earlier this morning, and I streamed this over on Mistersunshinebaby. Earlier this morning, you had Jagmeet Singh, a few hours ago, 3.5 hours ago, post on X this letter right here. Justin Trudeau failed in the biggest job a prime minister has, to work for people, not the powerful. The NDP will vote to bring this government down and give Canadians a chance to vote for a government who will work for them. And this entire letter goes over the fact that he no longer has confidence. The NDP no longer has confidence in the Justin Trudeau Liberal government. And in this line right here, right where my mouse is, it says, we will put forward a clear motion of non-confidence in the next sitting of the House of Commons. So we all know that Jagmeet Singh wants to get his pension, right? He wants to, and that's sometime in February 20th, or something somewhere around there. So if they wait until January 27th for them to sit down in Parliament, right? For the House to resume, it takes about 5 weeks, right? Between 60 days and 30 days and 90 days, 30 days and 60 days. Well, it takes 5 weeks-ish to go from a vote of non-confidence, should it be successful, to actually executing a federal election. And so that means that if they were to do the vote of non-confidence at the end of January, at the start of February, then Jagmeet Singh would get his pension. Now, even if they were to recall Parliament right now or December 29th in a week or something, right? Next week, soon, or even at the start of January, would Jagmeet still qualify for his pension? It might be close. But he's going to have to do something. He has to stay true to his words, which is he's going to vote in favor. So Pierre's putting that pressure on him. It's not to squeeze Jagmeet out of the pension. It's to get it done right now. Stop dragging this along. I've never heard Pierre Poilievre say that this is a clown show. And it really is. And he called it an episode. It feels like we're watching a messed up television show. And that's why when I do the intros for the question period, I say, welcome back to another episode of Question Period. Today is December or November or January, blah, blah, blah date, right? That's how I start off every single stream, because it genuinely feels like we're watching a sitcom unfold. And especially this week, oh my goodness, we've already had the season finale and now we're getting a teaser trailer for next season. But it might come sooner than what's scheduled. So it's just bananas what's going on. It's absolutely bananas. So I, along with likely you, let me know down in the comments if you agree with this. I'm going to throw everyone a softball here. Do you agree that we should have Parliament recalled? Everybody goes back, or goes on to Zoom call or whatever internal software they have, and do a vote of non-confidence this year, before the end of 2024, or right at the start of 2025. Do you think right now, yes or no, I'm going to pull up Pierre Poilievre, yes or no, do you think that is something that should happen? Let me know down below in the comments, because this is what we all want. This is what we've been wanting. And it feels surreal for it to happen today, this morning, during a cabinet shuffle, for Jagmeet to put that out there, right? It feels surreal, but it's what we've all wanted. It's what we've all anticipated and hypothesized. And now that it's here, You bet your ass this is happening. This is the real deal. It's showtime. It's showtime. I see in the live chat, a lot of people are saying yes. A lot of people are saying yes. So everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. And it's honestly hard not to get emotional about this, right? When you just sit and think about all of the emotionally exhausting, I don't want to say trauma, but maybe borderline. Maybe some people are traumatized. Maybe we're all scarred from everything that's happened politically speaking, right? Just with the shitstorm of our leadership and the cost of living, how it's affected our economy, immigration being flooded, like everything. Like it feels like our country isn't Canada. It feels like our country is horrible. So is that causing trauma or scars to people? Yeah, to all different capacities, right? Some are more affected emotionally and physically than others, but it's very damaging is the point, right? Very, very damaging. And for this to be announced, for this to be unraveling itself in real time, it feels emotional. It feels like it's closure, like, holy shit, it's happening. It's not just a theory. It's not just a what if or any of those things, or hey, come on, can you do it? It's happening. Now I know there's a lot of skepticism. I know there's a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying, "Oh, Jagmeet Singh, he's not going to do anything, right? It's just fugazi. He's not actually going to do anything." And you could be right on that. You could be right. I mean, you're not the only person that's skeptical. Even our great leader, next Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Poilievre, right? Jagmeet Singh posted at 8 in the morning Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which, by the way, I went live on Mistersunshinebaby within minutes of it happening, okay? And you can tell by this background, I'm in a different setting. That's because I am in a different setting. I'm not at home. I'm on Christmas holidays with my family, okay? I'm visiting family, but I got everything ready to go. So we're still running the show. We're still doing everything, providing the news faster, in fact, here than at home. Maybe that was just fluke, but it still happened faster. Beat Pierre Poilievre to the punch. BT dubs. But here you go. Pierre Poilievre, an hour after Jagmeet Singh posted on X his statement, this is what Pierre Poilievre said. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Now that Parliament is closed and there is no chance to introduce any motion for months until after you get your pension. You did the same stunt in September, claiming you'd no longer prop Trudeau up. Remember that? When he cut up his coalition? Then you went back on your word and voted 8 times against an election. 8 times against an election. And for your boss, Trudeau. Just 11 days ago, you voted against a non-confidence motion filled with your own words. You remember that? For crying out loud, that just happened. That just happened. Holy smokes, man. That's fresh. Had you voted the other way, we'd be almost halfway through the election right now. Only common sense conservatives can and will replace this costly NDP liberal clown show. Not even calling it anything else politically correct. Just calling it a clown show. I mean, it's still politically correct. It's just not that verbiage isn't normally used by a politician calling it a clown show, right? That's up to people like us to say it. So it's very interesting that Pierre is choosing those words. Axe the tax election now. That was 1 hour after Jagmeet Singh posted his letter, which is right here. 3 hours after Jagmeet Singh posted this letter, Pierre Poilievre went live, which is what we just saw. And so Pierre isn't wasting a single beat. He's not wasting any momentum from this. You want to call an election, you got the balls to post that on X after you've denied an election 8 times in a row in the past few months? Bet. Do it. Proof or ban, right? Proof or ban, as they say. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's do an election right now. I'm going to recall everybody back to Parliament. So what can Jagmeet Singh do? Can he not go forward with a vote of non-confidence? Of course. That's what a lot of people are skeptical about. A lot of people think, Even Pierre is like, "Okay, do it now, or no one's going to believe you." A lot of people believe that Jagmeet Singh is just puffing smoke, trying to maybe poach voters, and that could be true. I am choosing to identify. I am choosing to identify as this being real and this being something that he's going to move forward with. Okay. You could choose to identify however you want. Don't forget, this is Canada after all. At least we could do that right now. I choose to believe that this is real because, again, the thing that everyone knows is that he wants his pension. So as long as the election happens after that, he's going to get his pension. And so there you go. So he wants the election, not as much as the next person does. Jagmeet I'm talking about, but he definitely wants that election to happen because he's going to get more votes than he does right now. He's going to have more seats. He's going to have a little bit more power. At least he thinks he does. He's going to maybe overtake the Liberals in terms of seats in the House. He's going to have a little bit more voting power. So, of course, he wants an election sooner than later, but he also wants his freaking pension. Now, can they get enough seats? Can the Bloc and the NDP and the Liberals get enough seats to actually block Pierre Poilievre from pushing forward certain things, right? To have a three-party coalition that works against Pierre? No, they can't. And so this is very, very advantageous for the Conservatives to have an election right now in terms of just how popular they are. Can they be more popular in 10 months from now? Yeah, of course. Can they be less popular? Yes, of course. But we know exactly how popular they are now. We have a very precise, estimate, a professional estimate as to where their projections are, and that's what people are willing to gamble on, right? So let's take a look here. Let's take a look. You've got Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party sitting at 226 projected seats, with a bottom line of 200 and a top end of 248. It's a lot of seats. There's only 338 seats in the House. That's a super duper majority. You only need 172 seats for a majority government. So even when you compile all of the other seats that other people have, Pierre is still going to have more than everybody else combined. The Conservatives are going to have more than everybody else combined. So this is phenomenal. We are very well positioned in arguably the most advantageous spot that any opposition party has ever been in the history of Canada, right? A lot of that has to do with just how badly Justin Trudeau has messed up, but also that momentum only goes so far. Pierre Poilievre has done a phenomenal job of branding himself as the best candidate possible. He did phenomenal in winning the Conservative leadership race. And since then, taking the glasses off, changing his look, getting in more shape, really doubling down on his wittiness, doubling down on his ability to say things off the cuff, on the fly, without a teleprompter. I mean, he's naturally gifted in a lot of aspects, but this has also been a tremendous amount of work behind closed doors that we have no idea about. Maybe someday they're going to come out with a little docuseries about it, about the people that took down the big bad Goliath of the Laurentian elites or something like that. But there's a lot of work, a lot of sacrifices that Pierre Poilievre and his team and the Conservatives and Pierre's, what he's doing, his own personal life, right? Like, he's doing a phenomenal job. It's Christmas holidays, and not only is he addressing the country through a press conference, he's doing it in Parliament. So he left his home or wherever he was. Who knows what he was doing? He left whatever he was doing, put on a suit and tie, and went and gave a formal address. And now he's still working, right? That's awesome. I'm not saying we should kiss his butt for working when Parliament is closed. No, this is the job of any good leader. Any good leader is going to do the job no matter what, is going to make the sacrifices that it takes no matter what. And Pierre has shown repeatedly, like him or not, agree or disagree with his policies, his work ethic is unmatched. I mean, he's there when nobody else is. He's there when other people are not wanting to be there or are slacking. Pierre shows up and he's there to address the country when everything else has just been done through online statements, right? Jagmeet Singh doing an X post It reminds me of when he broke up the coalition. He did it through a pre-recorded video where he used my footage. You remember that? Remember that? I was in the bottom right corner of the video. I'm in the biggest breakup video that the world has ever seen, for crying out loud. Jagmeet Singh breaking up with Justin Trudeau, and he used this channel's footage, House of Canada's footage, which is a story for a different day. But nonetheless, this is incredible. And I give lots of props to Pierre Poilievre for doing what needs to be done and showing up and addressing Canada. And it's not just a statement. It's not just a live video going, hey, we don't agree that it should take until the end of January. We think that should be done now. He's actually drafting up a letter with his team, and he's submitting that to Governor General, recalling Parliament. So he's not just talking, he's actually doing the work. Where the fuck is Justin Trudeau? I'm sorry to swear, but where the fuck is our prime minister? Where's our leadership? Where's Jagmeet Singh? Is he stuck in the snow? Did he not put winter tires on his Maserati? Like, what's going on? The only person that's showing up and actually not only doing work, but talking to Canadians is Pierre Poilievre. Trudeau just shuffled his cabinet around. And during this insane period for the Liberals, the biggest news week the Liberal government has ever seen in the history of Canada, that any sitting sitting prime minister has ever seen, ever. The most controversy, Justin Trudeau, was this week. And where was Justin? Where was he? He hasn't addressed a single thing that happened this week. He was on camera at the cabinet shuffle. He didn't speak to any reporters. His entire cabinet was there, people being shuffled in and out. So there you go. That's how you can spot leadership versus somebody who's not leading, has no interest in leading. Somebody who's in it for the money. Is Pierre is there doing the work, and Trudeau isn't. Jagmeet isn't either. It's bananas, absolutely bananas. But hey, let's talk now about, I've got some notes here, about 3 ways that that Parliament can actually call an election. Actually, better yet, I'm going to pull it up on screen so that we can all see this together. Okay, because this is going to be very interesting, right? Because okay, how can this happen? How can Parliament be dissolved? What's going on? What are the different scenarios at play here? Well, let's go through that right now while people are watching, while people are paying attention. What the heck are we up? What are we up against? Well, let me show you. All right. So from the Canadian Politics Insider, there are 3 ways a parliament can be dissolved and an election can be called. You ready for this? The government, the first one is the government decides to call an election. Number 2 is a non-confidence motion is successful. So we know that the government is not calling an election. Trudeau doesn't want an election. He's not against it. If it happens, it is what it is. But he's not actively going, yeah, give me an election. I'm going to win. He knows he's screwed. That's why he's shuffling his cabinet around, right? So number 1 is off the table. Number 2 is going to take some time. Number 2 is the end of January 27th, 28th, 29th, the start of March, right? That's when number 2 is going to happen, a non-confidence motion. Number 3 is the Governor General dissolves Parliament and calls an election. So you've had now multiple, all opposition parties, not only Pierre Poilievre and Conservatives. The Bloc has already said that they don't have confidence, and they voted in favor of non-confidence actually the other day. So the Bloc is on board with an election. Pierre obviously on board with an election. Jagmeet Singh just publicly put it in writing. It's in stone that he's in favor of a vote of non-confidence. He's in favor. So all opposition parties are now agreeing that, I mean, aside from the Green Party, but who cares about that? They're getting drunk on Salt Spring Island and hugging trees, walking around barefoot. They're not even in politics at this point. Okay, so all 3 major opposition parties are agreeing in firm, concrete, undeniable, closed case. It can go to court, evidence. It's real that they are wanting to call a vote of non-confidence to trigger an election. So that means that number 3 that we just read, let me go back to it here. The Governor General dissolves Parliament and calls an election. That's the money right there. That's what's going to happen. Pierre Poilievre is going to get in touch with the Governor General. Say, look, here's the evidence that all parties want a election. Let's get it done. Let's bring it home. Governor General is going to have to abide by that request. It's undeniable. Everybody wants it. Nobody gives a shit about the holidays. I mean, yeah, phenomenal. You're with family, you're with friends. That's great. If I said to you, either have Christmas dinner with your family or have a federal election, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my wife. I'm sorry to my kids. I'm sorry to my mom, but dinner can wait. We're going to vote. We're going to vote, baby. If you had to pick one of those two options. So yes, the holidays are important. Enjoy your holidays. Have a phenomenal time with your family, with your friends. Have a good meal. Stay warm. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Know your limit. Play within it. Right? All those things. But everybody wants an election. Everybody. It's so politically tense right now. And it's not just between us. It's not just online rhetoric. It's everyone, the politicians themselves, the news, the living, breathing organism that exists here in Canada, the news cycle. Everybody is waiting for the same freaking thing. So the Governor General has to take that into consideration in conjunction with not just how you and me are talking online, not just because these videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views, but because all three opposition party leaders, Pierre Poilievre, Yves Poutine, and Jagmeet Sellout Singh, they are all saying that we are on board with a vote of non-confidence. So when Pierre Poilievre sends that off later today, we're going to know more. Maybe this weekend, maybe early next week. The holidays can wait. And when it comes to people actually doing their job, and Pierre isn't one to just wait for stuff to happen. You know that all those talking points, all those slogans about we're going to cut the red tape? He's doing it right now. So all these people that are saying, hey, we're whining and dining tonight. We'll get back to you, later on in January. Pierre's showing up at the door. He's making those calls and he's saying, no, you're going to do this now because this is your fucking job. And when I'm prime minister, if you don't get this done, because y'all know Pierre's going to be prime minister, so I can only assume these are the conversations that he's having, at least he should be. When I'm prime minister, if you don't sign this right now and get this done and do your freaking job as you're supposed to be, when I'm prime minister, we're going to defund your ass. But go do your thing. Go Pierre. Go do your thing. Let loose. Be that loose cannon. It's phenomenal to see that he's cutting the red tape within government. It's great. It's needed. Very much needed. For those that missed it, about the cabinet shuffle, we're going to take a little look-see-poo here at a recap, all right? Let's take a look here.
Party. Evan Solomon, G0 media publisher and special correspondent for CTV News, political correspondent for CTV News, is with us now. Evan, the NDP throwing a wrench into all these plans today.
Yeah, that is definitely the biggest news. Justin Trudeau is trying to shuffle his cabinet, but he can't shuffle his political future. Rob Oliphant is number 19 publicly declared. Privately, we've heard, as you know, 30, 40. A lot of people holding back, MPs waiting. Maybe they'll get the tap on the shoulder to come into cabinet. So those people that may have done that, maybe they'll come forward now. The most important news now, though, is from the NDP. This means now that if Justin Trudeau decides that Parliament is going to resume, then he will face an immediate confidence motion. The government will fall, and he will have to face the electorate, and he will be the Liberal leader, and this will be the new bench. But they will have literally no time at all to establish themselves, in which case this is like a cup of coffee and it's over. But does now that mean that Justin Trudeau has to recalibrate and say, do I prorogue Parliament, which, Stephen Harper did 4 times. He'll try to do that to duck a confidence vote. And then he has to decide if he's going to resign, step down. There's lots of scenarios. We'll have time to go over that. Does he remain on? Is there an interim leader? All that kind of stuff. But right now, he cannot survive at all if Parliament resumes in a new sitting or a new session, either one, depending on how he handles it. So it's over for Justin Trudeau now. He has no more dance partners in a minority government. So now he is at the moment where he's got to decide, should he stay or should he go? And people might ask, if that's the case, what the heck is the point of this whole cabinet shuffle? Well, look, come January, Canada's going to be facing tariffs from Donald Trump. And no matter what happens in the shenanigans inside or outside the Liberal Party, you're going to need a front bench to face that. So he's got to get at least the frontline ministers in place.
What do you think this does, though, to his own calculations about remaining or going as leader, given Jagmeet Singh is saying, like, it doesn't matter if he's there or not, I'm going to vote to bring down the Liberals. So if there's an election in April, how on earth are they going to pick a new leader and run a campaign in like a few months?
You know, Vash, I spent many years standing in the cold outside of Rideau Hall on events just like this. So I'm glad to be inside looking at the tea leaves, and the tea leaves are hard to read. Look, if I had to bet, you know, you and I are in the business of predicting a lot of things except the future. But I would say from a probability standpoint, the odds have gone way up that he can no longer stay. There's going to be more MPs that will come out publicly, number one. Number two, he knows the government's going to fall. Number three, the polls show that there's almost no chance he can win. He's behind financially, he's behind in the polls. And so this has got to really force his hand to really reflect what he wants to do and how he's going to manage the process. Not just should I resign, but do I resign and just walk away? In which case, you're going to have an interim prime minister. Like, have we ever had that, Vashi? An interim prime minister? That would be different. Or does
Are you dumb, bro? What do you mean? The only female prime minister in Canadian history was Kim Campbell. What do you mean, have we ever had an interim prime minister? Of course we have. Of course. It was Kim. Come on. Get out of here.
he stay on? And then there's a leadership race, 30 days, 50 days. That's a consequential question, given the fact that Donald Trump's going to, January 20th, tariffs could come. So I think this definitely, Jagmeet Singh's letter, it was no longer tenable for Singh to remain, say, call for a guy to resign and then actually still prop up the government. So Singh was backed into a corner. Like Chrystia Freeland, he timed this for maximum damage. He knows there's national media waiting to talk politics right now because of the shuffle. And he's just literally swiped the headlines on the shuffle the way Chrystia Freeland swiped the headlines of the fall economic statement, which with her torpedo, second torpedo coming from Jagmeet Singh. And now, Vashi, probability that this government falls and Justin Trudeau has to make a decision of his future way up.
Okay, there you go. Like, listen, folks, I don't have a political science background. I'm just a regular dude with a camera and a microphone. Literally, I'm barefoot most of the time. Used to live in a van. I'm a regular dude. Even I know Kim Campbell was an interim prime minister. She didn't get elected in. She was a placeholder for like a short amount of time, several weeks, couple of months. Like, it was so minimal that it's not even considered the first female prime minister, because, I mean, she is obviously a woman, but it's interim. It doesn't count, right? So for this guy on CTV to be considered a political analyst and say, I don't know, has Canada ever had a interim prime minister? I don't think so. What the hell's the matter with you? Are you not there? How are we supposed to trust you as a political analyst? You're giving yourself that title. CTV is giving you that title of professionalism, and you don't even know one of these like historic moments in Canadian history, the first female but not prime minister of Canada. Come on, man. Like that. Maybe it was just a slip up. Maybe it was the holidays. I don't know. But you're sitting there in a suit and tie, pretending to be fancy, and you don't even know that. Like, that's a disgrace. Sorry, but not a good look. What I am seeing down in the chat is that Pierre Poilievre posted the letter to the Governor General. He's already posted it 32 minutes ago. So we're going to take a look at that in a moment. But what we're also going to take a look at is the speech that Pierre gave. I cut it off. I cut it off because he walked away. He came back. Pierre came back and he spoke. So we're going to go back to that. I'm just pulling it up right now. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. When you walk away from the podium, it seems like you're done. You're tout fini. He said it's over, right? He said, hey, okay, I'm done. It's over. Speech over. And then he came back. So let's go take a look. I'm just pulling it up right now from where we left off. Here we go. Let's take a look.
Desk just shows how weak he.
go.
Have a vote at the ballot box to elect a new common sense government that will put Canada first. Thank you very much. I already responded to that, but I'm going to do it again. I find it incredible, by the way, that Justin Trudeau still hasn't responded to that. Where has he been? He's hiding under his desk. Just shows how weak he is. I've already said Canada will never be the 51st state. We are a proud people with a heroic past and a brilliant future. We are the best friend in the world to the United States, which is the greatest military and economic superpower the world has ever seen. The President has raised some concerns about the border and military. I will rebuild our border and our military to put those concerns to rest, but I will also defend our economy. We will bring home production to this country with massive tax relief and fast speeding up permits so that we are less reliant and more strengthened against these kinds of risks. And all of that will be good for Canadians, it will be good for Americans. What we really need, though, President Trump has made it clear he wants to put America first. Well, all the more to him, I'm going to put Canada first. Thank you.
Boom. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you subscribe to this channel. Because we make sure to check all the boxes, right? We went back and we saw something that would have been missed. I missed it at first. It got missed by a lot of people. Pierre went back and he finished his speech. Now let's take a look at this letter to the Governor General. This is insane. Okay, 35, 40 minutes ago. Dude, Pierre was live streaming. He was giving that speech in real time 42 minutes ago. And he said, I'm going to go write the letter to the Governor General. 2 minutes later, he's got the letter to the Governor General. This guy is so efficient. Make him Prime Minister already. Oh my goodness. I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know how he's so quick. He's the only politician that's working. The Liberals are doing these photo ops. They're being reshuffled. Oh, congratulations, you're new transport minister. Congratulations, you're the new Indigenous minister. Pierre's like, I don't give a shit about that. You said call an election, call an election. He's pulling out all of the stops. This is incredible. He's cutting the red tape within government, not to build houses, but government policy, government structure. He's getting the job done. So let's take a look at his letter, shall we? Right after his live stream, Pierre Poilievre immediately took to X and posted the letter that he said he was going to write. I have written the Governor General confirming that the Prime Minister has lost the confidence of the House and that Parliament must be recalled to hold a vote before the end of the year on triggering a axe the tax election. I am asking the NDP leader to match his actions to his words and likewise send a letter to Her Excellency asking for the same. Here you go. Pierre Poilievre, leader of the opposition. Excellency, I am writing today on a grave and urgent matter that requires immediate resolution. The Prime Minister has lost the confidence of the House of Commons and cannot continue to govern unless he regains it or wins a new election. Let me chronicle how we got here. While there were confidence votes that did not pass as recently as December 9th, 2024, everything has now changed. Since those votes, the leader of the NDP has added his name to the list of those who claim to have lost confidence in the Prime Minister to govern. He said today that he would join me and the leader of the Bloc Québécois to, quote, vote to bring this government down and give Canadians a chance to vote for a government who will work for them, end quote. This means that that all three recognized opposition parties whose combined MPs constitute a clear majority of the House of Commons have now stated unequivocally that they have lost confidence in the Prime Minister. Also, since the last confidence vote, the Prime Minister's own Deputy Prime Minister has lost confidence in him and resigned. as have at least 18 of his MPs who have spoken out publicly against him, and reportedly as many as 60 total members of his own party. Altogether, that makes upwards of 70% of MPs who have lost confidence in the Prime Minister. And yet the Prime Minister continues to cling desperately to power. This would be wrong at any time, but these are not normal times. Canada faces a serious and potentially crippling trade threat from the United States. We have a growing border crisis. More than 1,400 homeless encampments have overtaken Ontario alone. A drug crisis has killed more than 47,000 Canadians. Food banks are overwhelmed with demand and their shelves are going empty. This chaos cannot continue. That is why I am asking you to use your authority to inform the Prime Minister that he must either dissolve Parliament and call an election or reconvene Parliament on the earliest day that is not a statutory holiday before the end of the calendar year to prove to you and to Canadians that he has the confidence of the House to continue as Prime Minister. In a crisis like this, with so much at stake for our country, all parliamentarians must put aside personal plans and act in the interest of Canadians. The Canadian Constitution provides that the Prime Minister can only govern as long as he has confidence of the House of Commons. This is the principle of responsible government on which the legitimacy of our government rests. It is the role of the Governor General to ensure that the constitutional principle is upheld. When the principle is in doubt, and it is now, it is, flip the page, incumbent on you, the Governor General, to confer with the Prime Minister to ensure that he understands his constitutional duty. If he is not willing to fulfill it, it falls to you to act to ensure that he does. The position of all opposition parties and majority of the members of the House of Commons is clear. Only an election or an immediate confidence vote can provide the constitutional certainty we need at this grave time. I seek your most urgent response to this matter. Sincerely, the Honorable Pierre Poilievre. Holy smokes, totes my goats. This guy does not mess around. He goes on and says that he's going to cut the red tape and he's doing on people accuse him of only being slogans. What the heck is this? I've never seen this. Nobody has ever seen this happen this quickly. He just live streamed. It wasn't a pre-recorded video. He was not a pre-recorded. It wasn't a pre-recorded video that got launched as a live stream. He was there live in real time, and then minutes, not 20 minutes. We're talking 5, at most 10 minutes. That's pushing it. After he ended his live stream, he released this letter. Poof! His team does not mess around. This is all by the book. This is textbook way of going about things in Canadian Parliament. And so the government's hand is actually forced. This is incredible. You're gonna see. I don't want to deal in absolutes because only Siths deal in absolutes. Star Wars reference. I don't want to say that you are 100% going to see Parliament reconvene before the end of 2024. Because we don't know what they're going to do. They can use emergency powers. They can ignore Pierre. That's not allowed, and it shouldn't be allowed. It's illegal according to parliamentary procedure. Consequences are dictated by those who are in power anyways, so that part doesn't really matter. But what matters is the fact that Pierre is not just doing slogans. He's not just saying axe the tax, fix the budget, stop the crime, less, jail, not bail. It's not just slogans. He's actually doing this. He's actively pursuing this election to happen. And you got to give props. You got to give credit to where credit is due. Pierre is a man of the people. He's branded himself that way. He's shown time and time again that that's who he really is, down to his core values. And here we are seeing it happen in real time. And so I'm on board. I'm on board with that. I'm very excited for my first ever federal vote to go for Pierre Poilievre, in favor of Pierre Poilievre. I'm very, very excited for that. For those that didn't know, I've never voted federally. I never voted, period, until the BC election that happened like a couple of months ago, right? And so I documented that. There's a video about that. And I understand that I'm part of the problem of why we're here in the first place. I understand that fully. And I'm ready to make it right for myself, for my country, for my kids' future, and to vote. Not just vote right, but to vote, to actually vote, and to do that. There's a lot of people my age, a lot of my friends have never voted. It's just we don't care. We never cared, right? But now I do care, now more than ever, and I'm extremely excited. And to me, I feel like this is a blessing. The stars have aligned, and you're seeing something happen that we've all wanted to happen. And that feeling of it being surreal, or feeling like, oh, this is just another gimmick. It's just another stunt. Nothing's going to happen. But it will. This time is different, because it's not just Jagmeet Singh saying, I demand that Pierre resigns. It's not just bullshit words. He put it in writing that he is calling in favor of a vote of non-confidence. That's set in stone. You're only as good as your word, and he actually used the right words this time. And sure, give Jagmeet his pension. Who cares? It's a small price to pay. I don't think he deserves it, but who cares? Just let him have his pension, and let's move on with the show. And we're not going to even talk about Jagmeet once Pierre's prime minister. Who's Jagmeet? He drove a BMW? A Honda Civic? Who is that guy? Oh, the Maserati Marxist. Oh, yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, what's he doing now? Who cares anyways? We're not going to care about him. Give him his pension. Get them the hell out of the way. Revamp the NDP. Revamp the Liberals. That's their problem. We don't care about that. We don't care what they're doing. Pierre's going to have a majority sweep, a conservative majority, an ultra conservative majority like we've never seen before here in Canada. And it doesn't matter what the hell happens with the Liberals and the NDP and the Green Party at that point. They're all going to resign. And they're going to go about their own thing. And it's going to be a free fall. And the press is going to try and spin this, and a new Liberal leader has been elected. This is all going to happen after Pierre Poilievre wins the election. Early January, or in middle of February, end of February, start of March. Mark my words. Come back, save this clip, screen record it on your phones, on your computer, and save the clip. I'm telling you, it's going to be an internal NDP vote to elect a new leader, and a Liberal internal vote to elect a new leader. And they're just going to be spinning. The media is going to be breaking news. Freeland or Dominic LeBlanc is the new Liberal Party leader. It's going to be that. That's what you're going to see after the election. You know what? I won't care. I won't care at all. You want to know why? Because Pierre's going to have a majority government, and he's going to be doing what he wants with policies. He's going to be cutting the red tape. Look how proactive he was on this. He gave a live stream speech in Parliament. He got dressed in a suit and tie, walked on into Parliament, got the camera crew ready, and addressed the country in a time where the country needs to be addressed. He did the job. No one else is doing the job. He did the freaking job. And then he didn't just use words. He provided this awesome document. He actually provided this. He submitted this letter to the Governor General, which we did just read. So he's actually doing the work, which is so freaking needed right now. So when we talk about getting the job done, Pierre's the man. Pierre is going to be the guy. He is the guy. He's proven time and time again that he is the guy to do the job. And that's not me blowing smoke up his butt. I don't like to do that. I certainly don't want to do that. But I think that we're heading in the right direction. And what a time for all this news to happen right before Christmas. Christmas is in 5 days, and so is my birthday. And I'm very excited. I'm very happy to share this moment, this opportunity with all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds like the end of this live stream, doesn't it? Holy smokes. I'm going to read off some of the super chats. Jordan English with a 2 saying, I was like number 4. This is your hint. You got post notifications on. Jordan English with the 5. That's pretty ridiculous that Jagmeet decided to do that now. We're going to get hit by so many tariffs. I don't think we are. I think Pierre's going to handle it well. I don't think we are. I think we're good. I think we're going to be good on that. The Blob Inc. with the 10 saying support local and down with the CBC. I appreciate that. That's right. CBC, for those who don't know, copyright claim. They tried to take a bunch of revenue from a bunch of different creators. This channel got hit the hardest, right? This channel got hit. House of Canada got hit the hardest. Like eight different videos and live streams got copyright claimed. But then all the conservative Canadian political YouTubers got together, despite any differences, and did a private Zoom call, and apparently the amount of social pressure that was put on the CBC was enough for them to retract everything. And so CBC's not in a good position. Not only are they getting defunded, they might even get sued if they try that again. They might even get their ass sued. So it goes to show you that the people have spoken. Joan with the 10 saying, Jasper, this will go towards your haircut. If your wife doesn't want you to do it, then put it towards buying her something nice. Merry Christmas and happy birthday. Am I a bad person for saying that I'm not going to buy my wife something with that $10 and I'll buy myself a Christmas present? Because if I am a bad person, then that's not at all what I mean. I'm just joking. But if I'm not a bad person for saying that, then that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. Of course it's going to go to my kids. Natalie Gamble with the 10 saying, do you think with Trump behind this push with tariffs is to put the government in a rush for a new prime minister of Canada other than Trudeau being terrible at his job? Better relations. Yes, I do. I think that Trump is definitely I think that Trump is definitely adding some pressure to Canadian politics and politicians. I think that Trump likes Pierre. I think that Trump doesn't like Trudeau and doesn't like Freeland. And that's been very obvious, and not I think, but I know, we all know. And I think that that this was a bit of a strategy for Trump to get things moving, right? Kind of kick the rock down the road a little bit more. You know, give it a big poof kick. Give it a boot. Give it a boot. Give it a boot. Give it a boot. Give it a boot now. Clayton LeBlanc. Not related to Dominic, are you? Member for 1 month. Thank you. Thank you for the membership program. Appreciate that. There we go. Merry Christmas, whoever gets it. Very nice. And then Richard Leving with the membership. Thank you for that. Constubrangulus with a $6.99 saying, let our voices be heard. Sign the petition. E5289. 5289. Very nice. I'll have to look into that. And Baines Basement with a $6.99 saying, guys, help give Pierre all the evidence he needs to the Governor General. Go sign petition E5289 democratic process as soon as you can. A couple of people saying that. All right. And I think that's where we're going to wrap things up here, folks. Someone down in the comment says, viewers shouldn't be donating for a man's haircut. But you must be new here. But I don't get haircuts, if that isn't obvious. I don't get haircuts. And so they're not donating for a haircut. It's a joke, because somebody with long hair, if they wanted to get a haircut, it wouldn't be this long. But hey, what do I know? Alrighty, folks, that is where we're going to end this live stream. I want to thank everybody for tuning into this emergency second broadcast of the day. Second broadcast of the day. I see here that we have our own petition is ending in 2 days. So for those that haven't yet visited the petition, I recommend you guys go over to stopmutingthemic.ca. Maybe a mod or something like that can put it down in the chat. And once you are there, you here at the top right, hit sign now, or you scroll down and you hit sign the petition here. And that'll bring you to the Our Commons website. And if you want to join the email list, then you go to stay in the loop at the top right. Okay. So go to stopmutingthemic.ca. The link, I believe, is down below in the description. Maybe a mod will put it down in the live chat. And if you want to join the email list, you click up here, stay in the loop. Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to end this live stream. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to say that this is very unprecedented to do 2 emergency broadcasts on such short notice on a holiday day, but hey, it is what it is. And stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, turn the post notifications on so you get notified of stuff like this. Peace and love, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy holidays. And don't forget to say happy birthday to Mr. Sunshine Baby because it's his birthday in 5 days. Oh, wait, that's me. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.